can be a blessing in disguise.
This seems to be a blessing of extremely obvious kind.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I am pleased to see you back. But what hard clothes you got on. Do go and change them.
Cecily!
My child, my child.
What's the matter, Uncle Jack? Don't look happy. You look as if you've got a toothache. And I have such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother!
What?
Your brother Earnest. He arrived half an hour ago.
Nonsense, I haven't got a brother.
Oh, don't say that. However badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he is still your brother. You couldn't be so heartless to disown him. I will tell him to come out here, and you will shake hands with him.
These are very joyful tidings.
After we'd all been resigned to his sudden loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother is in the dining room. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's perfectly absurd.
Brother
Good
John.
heavens!
I have come down from the town to tell you I am so sincerely sorry for all the trouble I have ever given you, and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
You're not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing would induce me to take his hand. I think it's coming down here perfectly disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
There's some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury. He goes to visit so often. And surely there must be someone kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London sit by a bed of pain.
Oh, he's been talking about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Well, I won't allow him to talk to you about Bunbury or anything else. It is enough to drive him perfectly frantic.
Well, I will admit that the faults are all my own. But I must say that Brother John's coldness towards me is really rather painful. I had hoped for a more friendly welcome, especially seeing as I have never been here before.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I'll never forgive you.
Never forgive me?
Never, never, never.
All right. It's the last time I shall ever do it.
Oh, it's pleasant, is it not, to see such a perfect reconciliation?
Cecily, you will come along.
Certainly, Miss Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
Let's leave these two together. You've done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
There she is.
Oh, I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He has gone to fetch the dog cart.
Is he going to take you for a nice drive?
Alas, no. He's sending me away.
So have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. And a very painful parting it will be.
It's always very painful to part from people whom one has known for a brief space of time. The absence of old friends with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone whom one has just been introduced, is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart's waiting for you, sir.
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
I hope I won't offend you if I state quite openly and frankly that you seem to me to be the visible personification of absolute perfection.
Your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks in my diary.
You have a diary? May I read it?
Oh no, it is simply a young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions. and consequently meant for publication. I hope when it appears in volume form, you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking them down from dictation. I've reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I'm quite ready for more.
Well,
Oh, don't cough, Ernest. Whenever one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough.
Cecily, ever since I laid eyes upon your incomparable and wondrous beauty, I dared to love you passionately, devotedly, wildly, helplessly.
I don't think it can be right if you tell me you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't make much sense, does it?
Cecily!
The dog cart's waiting for you, sir.
Yes, well, send it back again, same time next week.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
I don't care what Jack thinks. I don't care what anyone thinks. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, of course.
You silly boy, why of course. We've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months.
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
How did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother, who's very wicked and bad, you, of course, became the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And a man who is very much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him. And I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
And when was our engagement settled?
On the 14th of February last, borne out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. The next day, I bought this little ring in your name. And this is the bangle, the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear.
Did I buy you these? They're really rather pretty, aren't they?
Yes, you've extremely good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given you for leading such a bad life. And this is a box of letters in which I keep all your dear letters.
My dear Cecily, I haven't written you any letters.
Oh, you hardly remind me of that. I often know that I had to write your letters for you. I had to write them 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener.
May I read them?
Oh no, they would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after we had broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course. On the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry in my diary if you like. Today, I broke off my engagement with Earnest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
Why did you break off our engagement? What had I done? I had done nothing. I think it's really rather mean of you to break off our engagement, especially on such a charming day.
It wouldn't have been a proper engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I would put out.
Cecily, you darling.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair comes naturally, does it?
With a little help from others.
I'm so glad. It has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name is Earnest. There is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Earnest.
Cecily, darling, you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name was something else?
But what name?
I don't know. It's just Say, for example, Algernon.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
My sweet, dear, little Cecily. I don't see why you shouldn't like the name Algernon. It's really rather a nice name. It's aristocratic. Half the men in the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, you don't mean to say you couldn't love me if my name was Algie?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I feel I could not give you my undivided attention.
Your rector, I assume, is fully versed in the rites and rituals and practices of the church.
Oh, yes.
I must see him at once about a very important christening. Business meeting.
Oh,
I shan't be longer than half an hour.
considering that we have just been engaged, and I've met you today for the first time, I feel it is rather hard that you should leave me for such a long period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I shall endeavour to do my best.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I should enter his proposal in my diary.